Hey everyone, it's Lisa here and I'm back with an Art Party Friday over at the Crafty Maven Getaway channel. I'm starting out in my big book, which I have already taped the spine as well as put a layer of gesso on top, and it is dry-ish. So in the inspiration piece, I was kind of like, I didn't really know what to do. It's colors I don't really gravitate towards. It's kind of like darker, muted tones. It's like lots of shades of gray. And it's kind of like got this little hint of, I don't know, I'm really bad with like that color. It's like almost like a teal, but like a dirtier teal, kind of leaning towards more of the green side. So anyway, I'm going to post a picture of the inspiration board right there, and you can see that it's got like all these kind of darker tones. So other than the color, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So cross your fingers, hang tight, and here we go. So with that being said, I want to start off with texture. I'll leave the texture to tell me what to do with the page. Sometimes, especially if I don't know what color I want to use, texture is the way to go. So this stuff right here is super heavy gesso. It is like icing. Seriously, right now I'm not like, I wouldn't lick this, but I seriously am contemplating on licking that. It's like really thick icing. It's just amazing. So I'm just gonna put it on the back side of the spatula, and I'm just gonna kind of like go thicker in some spots. Just kind of let the palette knife drag the gesso, the heavy gesso, around the page, and you know, you can see like every now and again it'll like skip and it'll like leave like these kind of drag marks in it. I'm totally cool with that. And don't worry about it going super heavy, because we are going to put some stuff into that to kind of put an impression in. So some places you want it thicker, some places you want it thinner. So I'm just going to kind of do that on both pages, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I'm not leaving this to dry at all. I'm actually gonna use these into it as it's wet. So some of these are actually impression plates. I don't remember the brand name, but they're actually rubbing plates, and you can rub like metal surfaces onto the, like a metal sheeting, metal foil sheets on top of it, and you would get like this impression onto it. So I'm going to actually use them to impress into this super heavy gesso. There was triangle, so those ones are diamonds. Ooh, here's triangles here. So let's use the triangles. Let's see what else we have. See, like there's like this swirl one, that one. That one's kind of cool. That one's really cool. And the other things you can use is, this is actually like a pot holder thingy, like a silicone one. I got this actually in a Mix Your Media kit from Wendy, who is W Squared Scrapbooking. She's got a Mix Your Media kit. And you could definitely use that to put an impression on it. So I might use this one. And then the other thing I have here is these are actually fondant plates. So this one's like a wood grain. This one's kind of like a basket weave. This one's like pebbles. And then this one's like a brick stencil. So you just literally press it in, lift it off, and then you're left with a magically goodness. So I am going to actually, and then I might go in with like a pencil or like a knife. Okay, so sorry, I was looking for something. So I was saying like you can put other things to impression into this. So actually this is like one of my favorite tools to put into this heavy gesso. It's just a wide tooth or like a tooth comb with a tail. So I can use this to draw with, and then I can use this to add like lines with, and it's just really, oh, it just leaves cool impressions. So I'm going to start off with this triangle one. Now, I don't think it really matters which side you put it in. You're just going to get a different impression, whichever side you put it in. Let's do kind of like this side a little bit better. So literally, I'm just going to stick it in, kind of press it down, and then lift it up. Oh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Freaking awesome. Okay. And it was a little bit heavy in here, so if you don't really like it, you can always just kind of like, just, you know, even start over, because like I like that, but it's a little too thick and I got lots on here. So let's try that again. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but it has amazing texture, like amazing. I'm gonna lift it up, see if the light can catch it. Can you see that? Okay, so the awesome part about using super heavy gesso is you get amazing texture like this. The bad part about using super heavy gesso is it takes a long time to dry. So I'm just literally going to put this over to the side, let it dry on its own. If it takes a couple days, it takes a couple days. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. Actually, this is the next day and you can see, I don't know, can you guys see that texture? It's just so pretty. So anyway, it doesn't look like it here. This looks like a hot mess, but I have white and then underneath I have black. So as I mix it, I want to get like a gray, that dark gray glaze. So actually that's not quite dark enough for me. So I'm going to add just a small, like drop, like that much of black. And black is one of those colors where a little goes a very long way. So you want to be very careful when it comes to black. So I'm just going to actually add a little bit more, one more drop, probably about the same size. Okay, so do you see that? I went from like that shade of gray all the way down to this gray just by continually adding a little bit black, mixing it in, a little bit of black, mixing it in. And I want to like this kind of like charcoal blacky. Realistically, I probably should have started off with a lot more black, less white, but hey, I still got there. So we're just going to brush this on. And we are going to let that sit for about a minute or two, and then we are going to come in with some baby wipes and wipe that back. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. Okay, I totally realized that my book was upside down. I almost pulled an Anita, my friend Anita. She always usually flips her book around and it ends up upside down. So I almost did that because yeah, there's that page there. So oh my gosh, you guys, do you see all that? Oh, that hidden texture in there. Oh, look at that. It is so pretty. I wish I could get the whole book on camera here. Anyway, it is so pretty. Now, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just going to kind of let that dry because this is going to have to dry, and I'm going to come back and figure out what I have to do next. So, don't pay attention to this paper palette here that I have for my colors. These are the colors that I'm actually going to try to use. I'm not sure. So I have Cracked Pistachio and Evergreen Bough. So yes, I do use other paints besides Golden or Liquitex. And then I'm actually going to pull in some white gesso as well. And I started drawing some circles here with some charcoal pencils. And I'm not sure how this is going to relate. I know there's charcoal in the inspiration piece, but I'm not really sure how to relate it onto my art journal. So I just thought, you know what, with these colors, I have a darker color, a lighter color, and then with the white, I'll be able to add kind of different tones in here. So let's just play. Let's just add some circles, see what happens, and just go with it. So, but I do love where this background is going. So I don't really like these dauber top containers. I think they suck. No offense, Tim Holtz, but they really don't work half the time. So this is a very, very fluid ink or paint, not ink, paint. And that was the Evergreen Bough. This is the Cracked Pistachio. Again, quite a bit of a lighter color. And then of course the gesso. And that gesso is a little bit thicker, so it's going to give me some body. So again, I'm just going to go into, let's go into this darker one first. Let's just do a circle. And then just add the lighter tone and just kind of mix them in together. And then add a little white for a little something something. That is quite all right. I'm just gonna add a little darker, and then I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna do that in a couple random spots around the page and see what that looks like. Back just finishing up this page here. And what I actually did off camera, sorry guys, is I actually took my fine liner with some of the black, carbon black paint with some airbrush medium in here, and I just kind of outlined these circles in here. So it just kind of defined everything, like all these little spots. So I actually printed out this quote in that inspiration piece. There was this moon, and I was like, you know what, I want to do like a quote based on the moon. So I found this quote, and it says, "She could not make sense of the things that were meant for her, but she was drawn to it all. And when she was alone, she felt like the moon, terrified of the sky, but completely in love with the way it held the stars." And it's by R.M. Drake, and I just love that. So I thought maybe what I would do is I would write bits of the quote in these little bigger bubbles here, and that would just kind of tie these bigger pieces together. So I'm just going to do that with this fine liner. It's might be able to read it, might not be able to read it, but it's just going to be held in there. So let's just do that, see what it looks like. Do a little tester here. All right, so let's go. Okay, so I got carried away with the drippage and the banging. It just kind of feels like I don't know, it just felt like these little pieces were disconnected from each other, and just by dripping and making all of these little pieces kind of like intersect with each other just made it feel like it was a little bit more, I don't know, just felt like they were flowing together. Okay, so for those of you who are like, yeah, she's totally not gonna leave it like that, you called it. I don't know, it just felt like there was just something not quite right. I don't even know if this is the right answer, but I'm just gonna move forward. So I have some light modeling paste, and this is the Flourish stencil, and I'm just gonna use some light modeling paste and just kind of go over that. I'll probably do it a couple times, so when you're doing a stencil, just make sure you take as few swipes as you possibly can, and that way you won't get it kind of like underneath the stencil and get like that, what do you call it, like that runoff. So as I say, and I do that like several times, so when you lift it up, it looks like that, and it's gonna be really kind of stark right now, but I think I'm gonna go over it with another glaze just to kind of bring it all back in. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is the right answer or not, but this is the way I'm going. go over top of my modeling paste with a glaze. I'm going over with the neutral for gray. So this is a little bit of a thicker paint. It's the heavy body. And again, I'm going to go in with some acrylic glaze. So just roughly like that. I honestly have no idea what this is going to do. So I don't know. I can't remember if I went over top of this with a black or a gray before. Actually, I think I'm going to need some more. But I wanted to kind of make it a slightly lighter than what I had in the background. But I couldn't remember if I had the black or not. So I figured, well, even if I go over with this kind of darker gray, it'll still look good. So just doing the acrylic glaze again. And you can see I got like a hot mess on my brush here, but that's okay. We're just going to go like this. Go over the whole page and then let it dry for a couple minutes. And then we will wipe it back and see what we have. Okay, so what I'm going to do to kind of finish this off is I really like how it looks, but I want to darken the edges. Let me just see if I can move down a little bit on one of these edges here. So you can see this is sepia fluid acrylic ink, and I'm just going to kind of like go on the edge, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm just going to kind of distress kind of the edges just by buffing and rubbing. I'm so done. I freaking love that. Do you see that shine, you guys? And that texture, it's like that bronze. Okay, so I didn't say it before, but I am using that iridescent bronze fine, and I was blending it out with my hands, and I was using water, and I was using like baby wipes just to get it to move and into the grooves. And right there, oh, that is just beauty. Now, do I love this page completely? No, it's not my favorite page. However, what did I learn? I learned that that bronze fine gold mixed in with that that glaze of that dark gray, it just made this whole page look old and ancient, and it's almost like an old world map kind of look to it. And it's just, oh, like, I know what I want to do next time. Like, if that's why I love creating art journal, like, and just to move through the process, because I think if you're just not 100% satisfied, that means there's something like missing from it. So if you just kind of like stop, work through the process, you'll come up with something. It might not be the best thing you've ever made, but you'll be like, oh my gosh, I know what I want to do now. Like, it's just to work through the process. It's not a work of art. However, I do love all of the, I don't know, just the like the texture and like the kind of like geometric but mixed in with the flourish, and it's like it's got all this texture in the background. I love the nuances of every little piece of it, but as together as a whole, I don't think it really flows that great, but I know what I could do differently next time. But I do, like, I love it, but it's not, I don't know. I'm just rambling now. But anyway, that is my finished art journal page. Again, thank you for coming with me on this journey. If you want to subscribe to my channel, all my information is below in this box down here. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next art party video that I'm on. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.